NextWork, and today we're doing an interactive build lab with the newest NextWork project, which was released just today. For those of you who don't know, we are doing a 21 in 21. That is 21 projects in 21 days. And this is the fourth project, fourth day. We're at day 4 now. And we are on the third project of the AI DevOps series. Isn't that cool? Who is looking into AI and DevOps? Ooh, look at the crowd here. Nice. We've got Roy, we've got Sloth, we have M. Getia, Azam, Himanshu, Shane, S11, and Amir K. Amazing. All right, I've included the project. Hi, I'm Getty. I see you. Good to have everyone here today. All right, let me share my screen. Who's doing the project along with me today? Shane, maybe? We might have Azam doing the project. Also, did you guys check out the Loki project leaderboard that I had? Hold on, let me show it to you. This is a quick preview. We only have 4 projects out. We're doing the 4th one live today, right now. And I'm curious to, if you were wondering who's doing the project along with us, here is the project leaderboard. Let's just check it out real quick, shall we? All right. I had posted it on the general chit chat. Take a look. Let's see. All the way in the bottom. All right, we've got Shane, Roy, and Sean who have completed all the 3 projects till now and ready to go for the 4th one. And we've got Ronak and Shreyas and Banu. Ronak and Banu are from India. Both of them have completed 2 projects. And then we've got Shreyas from UK, Ahmed from South Korea, and Eugene from Ghana. All of them have completed 2 projects. Exciting stuff. Now we are on day 4. Look at that. Okay, oh no, Azam is under the weather and not done with the documentation. I get that. Sometimes doing the documentation takes time. It takes a lot of thinking. You need to really think about what you've done. So for those of you who are completely new to NextWork, let me quickly give you a preview of everything we've done so far. So in the 4 days of the 21 in 21, we started with build a RAG API with Fast API. Great project if you want to learn a little bit about RAG. What is RAG? What is RAG? Oh my goodness. You keep hearing about it everywhere, but what is it really? Do this project and you will find out what retrieval augmented generation is and how you can build a RAG system using Fast API and Chroma and Olama. It is a super lovely project because in 90 minutes you will learn so much. And by the end of the project, you get a whole documentation. Look at that. A documentation that you can put in your LinkedIn, in your resume, share it, get recruiters to look at it, get those tech interviews for your dream jobs, and really learn to talk about your project, both in your documentation as well as thinking about what you've really created and built, so that when you are in your interviews and you are presenting about RAG API and Chroma and what you built, you're able to really communicate. And it's not just building, but it's really showcasing your skills, both in a visual format as well as being able to just talk about it, you know? So with every project, you get a documentation. And this is the project that we're going to do today, deploy to Kubernetes, is part of a series. So we built a RAG API with Fast API. And then in part two, we containerized it and containerized it using a Docker. And then today we're deploying the RAG API to Kubernetes. And if you have absolutely no idea what any of this means, it's totally fine because every project is designed to be self-contained. So you can do a project and still without doing any of the previous project, you can still learn everything. It might be heavier in terms of the content because there's a lot to cover. So if that's you, don't feel intimidated. Do it along with me. We'll break it step by step. Ask all the questions you have. We also have a built-in ask feature right here, so you can ask all the questions that you want and get all the answers that you need. You've got me, you've got the entire community, we've got rock stars in the community who have done all these projects, who are loving these projects and ask great questions and have great answers. So you are in great company. We've got Harry Brewer, who is planning on catching up with this series this week. Amazing. Yes. Some of these projects, and everyone is different. Sometimes it just takes a little more time to go through those instructions and understand it in detail. So take your time, take whatever time you need, and let's get into it, shall we? Anyone doing the project with me? I know Azam is not, Shane is, maybe Roy. Maybe Roy has already started and he's like wrapping up that last step. We'll find out. Juan, Sohib, good to see you all here. And I see that we've got a lot of folks here in the audience. Put a message in the chat. Tell everyone where you're joining from, a little bit about your background. Let this be an opportunity to get to know each other, share your LinkedIn profiles. Let's connect while we build, right? It's an interactive build lab. Okay. All right, I'm excited. Okay, we are deploying a RAG API to Kubernetes. Learn how production systems orchestrate containers at scale with Kubernetes. Okay, interesting. So this is a 30-second summary, and with every project, we have a 30-second summary to give you a quick idea of what you're getting into. You also get to know the difficulty level, any other projects you could benefit from by doing, some key concepts, all with links so you know where to go for more information. We've got tool cost. NextWork is all free, so there's nothing you need to pay NextWork, but sometimes we use tools that might cost something. And in this case, it's all free. The estimated time is 90 minutes, which means that I might take all of 2 hours because I like to take my own time. So let's see how that goes, shall we? 30-second summary. Picture this. You've just learned how to package your app into a container with Docker, so it can run the same in any system. Nice. But what if you need to run several Docker containers? Maybe one for your API, another for your database, and more to handle extra users or features. What if a container crashes? How do you scale your containers to meet a traffic spike or make updates without downtime? Once you've mastered containerization, managing containers at scale becomes the real challenge, and that's why Kubernetes exists. Kubernetes automates deployment, recovery, scaling, and networking for containerized apps. It solves a big and common problem in production systems and has become the second fastest growing project in the history of open source software. Okay. All right. It sounds hectic. It sounds, whoa, like this is a lot. Am I ready for it? Well, you can always ask and say, tell me about this project. Tell me what I'm going to learn. Give me a recommendation of who should do this project. And so there is a little bit of a recommendation. This project is ideal for anyone interested in understanding how production systems manage and scale containerized applications. So whether it's part of this series, you don't need Kubernetes experience. All the concepts are explained along the way. If you've done the previous projects, that's great. If you haven't, this project includes guidance to help you catch up. So totally fine if you don't have the experience of doing the previous projects. Okay. Let's see, good stuff going on in the chat. We've got one, Soeb says, I'm not surprised that Roy might have finished the project, but Roy says I will be joining in 30 minutes. Ooh, Roy asks, what is the pretty spicy in a difficulty scale of 1 to 5 or 1 to 10? I tell you what, Roy, let's finish this project and then come back to that question and give it a scale of spiciness. You know, whenever we go to a restaurant and they ask you what's the level of spiciness that you want, and usually you go between mild, medium, or hot. And when you say medium, it's crazy how medium can be really spicy or not spicy at all. So this is, I guess, a good exercise for us to find out where or how pretty spicy falls under. We were talking about this today in the team lunch about having a NextWork hot sauce. And we can have NextWork hot sauce with like all the different spice levels. And maybe even as Shane suggested that I bring in today, he suggested I bring some Tums because it's a pretty spicy project. Maybe we can have NextWork Tums as well. Roy says I took 2 Tums. I'm ready. I'll be ready when I start. All right. I love it. Love it. Okay. All right. What am I going to build today? Welcome to Project 3. In this project, you'll deploy your containerized RAC API to Kubernetes using Minikube. What is Minikube? So anything that you see with a dotted line on the bottom has a definition. And you can even ask more questions about it. So Minikube is a tool that runs a single node Kubernetes cluster on your local machine. It's used for developing and testing Kubernetes applications locally, making it easier to learn and experiment with Kubernetes without needing a full-fledged cloud environment. All right. I'm actually curious. So this Kubernetes, we can say, go into more detail about it. I can even ask, do industries use it, or is it just like a personal project kind of a tool? So let's see. I didn't give much of a prompt. All I said was, can you tell me more about this? And the ask has given us a little breakdown about how to set it up, what you'll be creating, and what you'll be doing. Not too much about the tool itself. And I'm just curious, how often do companies use Minikube? Is it usually used for personal projects? That's a great question. Minikube is primarily designed for local development, testing, and learning. So typically used in personal projects and learning, local development and testing in companies. Makes sense. So that allows catching Kubernetes specific issues early in the development cycle. Usually Minikube is not used for production environment, but it's a great tool for testing. So that's when you will see in the development cycle. So that's why it's a DevOps project. Very cool. A really cool question by Harry Brewer. What LLM powers NextWork's Ask feature? We use the Gemini model. Roy asks, since it's a single node, I don't think of it as a production solution for containerization. Yeah, you are right. Minikube is more for testing and personal projects. So great tool to learn. Amazing. Okay. If you haven't done project 1 or 2, totally fine. You have the option to select that track, which gives you more details. So don't worry, you can still do the project along with me. By the end of this project, you'll have a local Kubernetes cluster, you have a Kubernetes deployment, and a Kubernetes service providing stable networking. And there's a nice little handy dandy diagram, great for documentation. All right. This is the same workflow many professional DevOps engineers use to ship AI workloads into production at scale. And the best part, Minikube runs locally on your computer with no cloud costs or fees. I don't have experience in Kubernetes. You don't need experience. Ask all the questions. Ask me, put it in the chat, put it in the ask a question in the community, ask our feature. Always good to ask questions. Ask all the questions and keep learning, stay curious. Okay, so we also have a demo project. So if you are not joining me live, or if I'm going too slow for you, you can always click on the demo projects and do the projects with the demo video. So let me give you a little hack. If you open it up,
Hi everyone,
you will see Natasha doing a lovely build lab or demo. You have the option when you right click. Oh, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. It's a little tip that
if you're still typing your coding
if you right click twice, you get picture in picture, and then you can go back in the project. And now you have the project
on the table. You're prompting cursor over 100 times a day, but typing detailed context takes forever. So you send lazy prompts, you get mediocre results.
Well, you get the idea. You have your little picture in picture video as you do the project. Isn't that cool? How many of you knew this little nifty hack? All right, I'm gonna close this because I don't need it now. If you are like me and you want the step-by-step guidance, click on this track and you'll get all the exact detailed instructions. If you want a little less, you can always go with the some guidance. It gets right straight to the point. And if you want no guidance, you've got an option where you get exactly what you need to do and nothing more than that. It's a great path, great track to do when you've done this project at least once and you just want to remind yourself of how to do this project. Ooh, there's a question by Sinatra. Yes, this is live and you can join me on Discord to do this project. Or you can stay on YouTube and do this project along with me. I am here. Okay. Let's go, shall we? Time for a quiz. This is a pre-project quiz. So sometimes we don't know all the answers, but we use our deductive reasoning skills and we get it done. And this is the one where I need your help with. Oh, Juan has a question. Is it expensive to deploy Kubernetes for testing in AWS? Oh, I don't know if I have the exact answer for that question, but I wonder if there is somebody in the audience who does. Depends on your workload. Yep. EKS is not that bad for a single project, true. Yeah, but when you're doing it for a large company, of course, it's going to be more. Maybe for testing, like Roy said, it depends on the workload. Good question. All right, let's do this quiz. Okay, what is the purpose of eval minikube docker env? We're jumping right into the deep end, aren't we? A, to delete all Docker images from the host machine. B, to start the minikube Kubernetes cluster. C, to deploy a Kubernetes deployment to the cluster. Or D, to set environment variables in the current terminal to connect the Docker CLI to Minikube's Docker daemon. I need help, guys. What are we thinking? So it says D. D, okay. We've got a majority vote of D, and I think I'm gonna go with D. Let's do it, shall we? D is correct. The context explicitly states this command. The context explicitly states this command sets environment variables so that Docker CLI interacts with Minikube's isolated Docker daemon instead of the host. A .n file is always used to store environment variables. Nice, good thinking. All right, next question. What is the primary role of Kubernetes in managing applications? A, to create virtual machines for local development. B, to manage and orchestrate containers across multiple machines, handling, scaling, and self-healing. C, to build Docker images from Docker files. Or D, to provide a command line interface for interacting with local machines. What do we think? Oh, we already have answers in the chat. Look at that. You guys are such rock stars. Let's go with B. All right, nice. Next question. What is a Docker image? Ooh, this is a good question to ask especially if you've done the last project. A running instance of an application. B, a portable, read-only package containing application code, dependencies, and settings. C, a tool for managing Kubernetes clusters. Or D, a set of instructions for building a Docker image. Well, I think we can rule out D. So A, B, or C? Ooh, B, B. Okay, let's go with B. C and D are out of the question. Nice. Well done. Rock stars. Okay. Why is a Kubernetes service necessary for an application whose pods are ephemeral? A, services are responsible for building Docker images and pushing them to registries. B, services provide a stable network endpoint that remains constant even if pods are recreated with new IP addresses. C, services execute the application code directly, bypassing the need for pods. Or D, services store application data persistently, preventing data loss when pods restart. We have D. What does ephemeral mean? It means short-lived. Hey, ask, can we get that definition? What does ephemeral mean? Ephemeral is common in the world of cloud computing and containerization, and it means that something is short-lived, temporary, or exists only for a brief period. Very cool. Session life. Yep. Makes sense. Okay, so why is a Kubernetes service necessary for application whose pods have a short session life? Is it A, services are responsible for building Docker images and pushing them to registries? B, services provide a stable network endpoint that remains constant even if pods are recreated with new IP addresses? C, services execute the application code directly, bypassing the need for pods. Or D, services store application data persistently, preventing data loss when pods restart. I feel you, Harry Brewer. I think it's either B or D. It is D since we are storing using Kubernetes. Okay, all right. I trust Sohib. Let's do it. Going with D. Shall we? No. I like how Barry Brewer is coming up with the strategy based on how it's worded. That is such a good exam taker skill, Harry Brewer. I feel like you have done a lot of AWS certifications and you are, one of those SAT exam preps, ACT exam preps. You've done all of that, GRE, GMAT, everything. You've nailed the exam taking skill. All right, so services provide stable network access but do not store application data. Persistent storage is handled by other Kubernetes resources like persistent volumes. B is correct. The context explains that pods are ephemeral and their IPs change, so a service provides a stable IP addresses and DNS name along with load balancing to ensure continuous access. Nice. Ooh, we have a question from YouTube asking, is your team hiring? I have 4 years of experience as a data engineer. Get in on Discord. Let's have a chat, shall we? All right. Next question. Harry Brewer, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you joining from? What do you do? Next question, number 5. Ooh, may I interrupt before I go into this question? There is a great feedback from I am the new Sinatra. Ooh, Sinatra, do you sing? Sinatra says, I am on the first part of the project. Great project, by the way. Thank you so much for the feedback. Really appreciate it. Okay, question 5. What does image pull policy never in a Kubernetes deployment YAML mean, especially for local development with Minikube? A, Kubernetes will always attempt to pull the images from remote registry, ignoring local images. B, Kubernetes will only pull the image if a local copy is not found. C, Kubernetes will automatically build the Docker image if it doesn't exist. And D, Kubernetes will use the local image that was built inside Minikube's Docker environment and will not attempt to download it from a registry. Man, these questions are tough. Hey, Srivastav, nice to see you here. Okay, Harry Brewer says D. Harry Brewer is a cybersecurity subject matter expert. I just started a new role specifically focusing on DevOps, machine learning, machine identity, and AI. Super cool. I think you should definitely connect with Shane, who is a cybersecurity expert as well. And so cool that you are doing this project along with us. How fitting. All right, Harry Brewer says D. Shall I? D. Soeb says D. Okay, here we go. Is correct. Image pool policy never is critical for local development, instructing Kubernetes to use the locally built image within Minikube's environment, preventing attempts to pull from Docker Hub. Nice. I'm very excited to understand all of this a little more in depth. This is the pre-project quiz. So great. We've got 4 out of 5, which is totally fine for the fact that we haven't done the project itself. Amazing. All right. Ooh, shout out from Brazil. Sinatra is now on Discord. I see you, Afonso Souza. Good to see you. Joining from Brazil. Which part of Brazil are you from? And Srivastav is also here. I'm actively looking for a new role as a data engineer in the US. It would be really helpful if anyone has any leads. Great. Happy to connect you to people. I would also recommend that you put a question up here, and it will allow anyone to just come in and take a look, and maybe if there are open roles, they can connect and you guys can connect and collaborate. Share different job descriptions or job profiles and apply. Thanks for coming in on Discord. Are you doing the project with us? Oh, yes. Soeb says, question 4 stumped us all. All right, we've got folks from Philippines, Brazil, US, any other countries joining in this live today. I feel like Azam was here and he's not here, but if he was here, it would have been India too. Right now, I don't see him. And he's a little under the weather, poor thing. All right, guys, so we did the quiz. We have a better idea of what we're doing. But now we have to answer this question. And this is always a good opportunity to stop and really think about what you just read, you know? Okay, so let's take a moment to set our intentions and understand what we're about to build. What are we here to do today? In this project, I will deploy, what am I deploying? I will deploy a RAG API to Kubernetes. In this project, I will deploy a RAG API to Kubernetes. I'm doing this project to learn how to manage containers at scale, how to manage containers, how to orchestrate a containerized app. I'll be doing so many things. How do I put it all in here? How to manage a containerized app, containerized API. And the good thing about this documentation is that you can hit done, you can check out what it's going to look like, and you can always come back and edit it. Sometimes you might feel that you want to add a lot more, sometimes you want to add a little less, and you can even see if different colors gives you an inspiration to add more. So really have fun with your documentation. I might come back to this question. And if you do, you can, you can even say return to later. So if you don't want to answer it right away, that's an option, and you will know. All right. Who is with me on step 1? Ooh, good stuff from the chat. Afonso says, I'm on the first part of the project 1, and later I will do the one that you're doing now. Great. Harry Brewer is joining from New York City, living in the mountains of Pennsylvania, not Philadelphia. Yes, Pennsylvania. And I wish the project had a Linux option. You know what, Harry Brewer? I am going to interrupt my project flow because I think this is great. Let me give you a little history about NextWork. We started with only having a Mac option, and now we have a Windows option. So we need to add this in here. I'm going to take a screenshot of your request. Not in project request, feature ideas. Linux option, please. And this is a request from Harry Brewer. So cool. I love these feedback that you guys have. Tell us everything. Tell us what you want to see, what projects you want to see, what features you want to see. You won't believe it. It was during one build lab when someone said, I wish I could copy paste my images onto the NextWork project, and voila, within that month, it was shipped. The feature was built and shipped to NextWork, and now you can just paste your screenshots into the project. Okay, now let's do step 1. We are going to set up our Docker image. Before we deploy anything to Kubernetes, let's make sure you have a Docker image ready. What is a Docker image? A Docker image is a portable, read-only package that contains your apps, code, dependencies, and settings. Think of it like a blueprint or a recipe. It has everything your application needs to run, but it's not running yet. Why do we start with Docker before Kubernetes? Kubernetes can only run things that are already packaged. Docker comes first because it packages your app and everything it needs into a container image, a single portable unit that runs the same on any machine. Kubernetes then uses that image to create and run containers. It decides where they run, how many to run, and keeps the containers alive, but it never builds the image itself. Cool. So in this step, I'm setting up my Docker image. I need a Docker image because Kubernetes works with with containers, right? Is that accurate? Yep. Works with things that are already packaged. Okay, so Kubernetes uses the image to create and run containers. Yeah. Cool. I'm going to hit done and I'm going to keep going. All right, let's open Cursor on my computer. Let's open Cursor. Right, I hope you all can see my screen. Okay. I don't know if I want to take the whole space, so I'm just going to divide it into half. All right, so we've opened up Cursor and Cursor will open the screen. Actually, I never closed my Cursor. I'm one of those folks who doesn't close applications or tabs until it's too overwhelming. Are you one of those? Or are you a neat and organized operator? Does anybody use Arc? I think Arc had people used to love Arc for tab management. Ooh, what is OneTab? Is that an extension or is that a browser? Or is that an application, a plugin? Okay. Cool. I will have to check into that. I'm guilty. Have you done projects 1 and 2 in this series? Isn't this cool? You get to choose your track. If you've done 1 and 2, you can choose this. If you've completed 1 but not 2, you can choose this and get the tailored instructions. Or Harry Brewer, you could technically join us and do this one where you haven't done 1 or 2 and you're doing it with us. I thought I would be doing project 1, this option, because I had only done 1 when we spoke earlier in Connect with Community, but I was so worried about having to carry extra Tums. I just completed the project 2. So I actually didn't finish my documentation, but I think I have all the stuff that I need for this project. All right. Let's do this. Is there anybody who is doing the other tracks where you've completed 1 but not project 2 or not done 1 or 2? Shane says Tums are catching on. It's a different kinds of Tums. Harry Brewer says, I want to have the right foundation and have a feeling I'll be able to speed run the first 2 or 3 projects in this track. That's true, Harry Brewer. Honestly, these projects are very bite-sized, very enjoyable. It's like just the right amount of brain power. You think about it, it's not too overwhelming. And then when you're done with the project, you feel like, I finished a project. And I think you could easily do all 3 projects in one day, but it wouldn't, you know, if you might it might take a half day kind of a thing. All right, we open our project folder and we click open. I think I have everything open actually. I could even be doing this with low guidance. This particular step. Wouldn't it be cool if each step had a some guidance, low guidance, no guidance part? I need to add that into my feature requests. Because sometimes I would want to go back up and say, oh, I need a little more information. I know our learners, some of them, they do this, they start with the some guidance. And then as they go through, they're like, I think I'm stuck. I think I need a little more help. And then they go into step-by-step guidance and get more detail. So I think it would be cool to have a little more, like if each instruction, each step had like a detailed step-by-step, low or no guidance option. Oh, Harry Brewer says I like the step-by-step approach. Nice, good to know. Is there anyone who does some guidance? Okay. So I am opening my folder and I'm looking for desktop, and under desktop, I want my RAG API. There you go. Okay. And I want to check for my Docker image. So in Cursor, go to new terminal. I have so many terminals. And let's put Docker PS, shall we? Okay. Looks like everything is running. It says it was created 2 hours ago, and doesn't match the screenshot, but I think we're okay. I think we are good to go. Now let's run the command and press enter. What are we doing here? Docker images lists all the Docker images on your system and RAG app filters the list to show only images with RAG app in the name. Okay. Okay, everything looks all right. You should see your Docker image listed. Yep, RAG app latest. Awesome. Hello, Rajneesh. Good morning from India. Rajneesh, are you on your walk? We are doing day 4 of 21 and 21, but this is project 3 of the AI DevOps series. Okay, so I see RAG app. Everything looks good, and I am sailing at this point. So now I want to create a project folder. Click into desktop, new folder, and name your folder NextWork RAG API. I don't understand. 1 second. So I see the RAG app. And now I want to create a project folder from Cursor's folder selection. Okay, so here, maybe. Name your folder NextWork RAG API. Okay, I think this is under the assumption that it wasn't open. Right, that makes sense. Okay. And I have this open. I've got Venv here. Okay, I think we're good to go. We want to create the knowledge document file. What is Kubernetes.txt? This file contains knowledge base that your API will search through to answer questions in a real application. This could be documentation, FAQs, or any text content. What if I created a NextWork frequently asked questions for all the project errors? Well, we do have a built-in RAG over here. Okay. In the File Explorer, create a new file. Name the file Kubernetes. I think I already have that. So this is assuming that we haven't done anything. See, good to know. It assumes that you haven't done any of this. I think I have all of this, so we can keep going. Create embedding script. Name the file embed.py. So we go to the cursor's File Explorer, create new file, and we look for embed.py. All right. Hi, Nat. Good to see you here. We are doing project 3 of the series. And we have folks who are watching and not doing. We have folks who are working on project 1. So everyone's at different places, but we're all doing the AI DevOps. Isn't that cool? We even have folks doing VPC series, right, Juan? And we've got folks from US, India, Brazil, New Zealand. All right, so I'm doing these steps, and it feels like this is assuming, the instructions are assuming that I haven't done project 1. Oh, did I miss that little blurb? My bad. Okay. You won't need to set up your Docker image again. Thank you, Roy. Look at you. All right. That makes sense. I'm just going to click this and I can jump right into the end of the step. How did I miss that? Good catch, Roy. Appreciate it. All right. So here we want to put a screenshot of the Docker image. Okay. Here's my Docker image. Was there another image that, oh, maybe here. Okay. What command did you run to check your Docker image? Let's see. Okay. So I believe I'm jumping around a little bit. So build the Docker image. If I've already built it, then that's done. How do I verify it? This is the command to verify the image. And look at this cool feature. If I wanted to have a different name, I could choose that and I could still then copy and paste it onto my terminal. So what command did you run to check your Docker image? I ran Docker images and saw my all right. Wonder if this answer matches the question. I'm just going to test it out a little bit and hit done so that I see what the title of the question is. And the question is what the Docker image contains. So maybe this question needs to be updated. Let me make a note of that for the project writing team. Okay, so if I am to fill out these words, I ran Docker images and saw my RAG app. The image size was 439 MB. 439 MB. The image ID, RAG app, all right. All right. Where are you guys at? Shane? Roy? Roy, have you started? Okay. Oh, you're on step 6. Are you stuck on step 6? Uh-oh. I'm coming. Hold on. Okay. I'm done with step 1. And I have a Docker image. I have Docker desktop running, and I'm ready to deploy Kubernetes. Okay. Amazing. Yay, Roy is with me. All right, step 2, set up Kubernetes. Now that you have a containerized API, let's set up the tools you need to deploy it to Kubernetes. You will install Minikube and kubectl, the essential tools for running Kubernetes locally. In this step, you are going to install Minikube, install kubectl, and verify both the tools are working. Why Kubernetes? Because Docker is great for running a single instance of your RAG API in a container. But if you want to run many containers, then you need Kubernetes. So whether you want to run many containers of RAG API, handle more users asking questions, or recover from crashes automatically, you need something powerful. In our case, Kubernetes manages your RAG API containers, organizes them into a cluster of machines that work together to keep your API running. What is Minikube? Minikube is a tool that lets you run a local Kubernetes cluster on your computer. What is kubectl? Oh, pronounce kube control or kube cuddle. I didn't know that. Nice. Thanks for adding that. Kube control is the command line tool that lets you talk to Kubernetes clusters. Okay. Think of it like the Docker CLI, but for Kubernetes. You use it to deploy applications, inspect resources, view logs, and manage your cluster from the terminal. In this project, you'll need both Minikube, which runs the cluster, and Kube Control, which lets you control the cluster using commands. Ooh, my goodness, so many new tools. Okay, so in this step, I'm installing Minikube and Kube Control. I need these tools because I want to run a local Kubernetes cluster, and I need Kube Control to control the cluster, using commands. Nice. Okay, install Minikube. Let's install Minikube for your operating system. Let's first check if you have Homebrew installed. So let's check brew version. Okay, I have brew installed. I have brew installed. Okay, now let's install Minikube. So in the terminal, let's install Minikube. Okay. All right, I think that might take a little bit of time. In the meantime, let me check. Ooh. Conversations in the chat between Docker and Podman. Docker is used to minimize friction. Most tools, docs, teams already expect it. That's true. Podman is stronger on security. Ooh. Nat, for context, Harry Brewer is a cybersecurity subject matter expert, so he's thinking security for sure. Ooh, hi, all-rounder from YouTube. Come on into Discord and join the party. We've got all-rounder from YouTube joining from India. Okay, we are done with our Minikube installation. So this command tells Homebrew to download and install Minikube and all its dependencies. Homebrew handles all the file placement, configuration automatically, so you don't have to worry about where things go. Now let's verify that this was done correctly. And we have V137. right, perfect. Okay, so now we're going to install kube control, the Kubernetes command line tool. All right, let's see. Ooh, we've got Anshika and All Rounder on YouTube. Good to have you guys here. So now we are running the command to install kube control. All right. Kubernetes CLI is already installed and up to date. Oh, nice. Okay. I'm quite surprised. Minikube version, brew install kube control, and it's already installed. Amazing. Wonderful. Oh, yes, that is what I see. It's already installed. I didn't know that's an error. No, it is totally normal. When you installed Minikube earlier, Homebrew automatically installed kube control as a dependency since Minikube needs kube control to work. Oh, thank you, Homebrew. How kind of you. All right, let's verify kube control. We've got our YouTube comments flooding. I'm unable to keep up. Kube control version client, enter. What does this command do? This command displays the version of kube control and it confirms whether the installation was successful. So let's see if we have a version number. Yeah. All right. What do the client versus customized versions mean? Oh. Oh. What is the difference? The difference between clients. So when I run the kube control version, I see a client version, V1, and a customized version, V5. And the difference is the version of the kube control itself, that's the client version, and the customize is the version of customize, a tool that's built into kube control. Nice. All right, let's verify the kube control config file. Let's run this command. And what are we doing with this command? I see my config file. Do I see my config file? I think so. I think I see my config file. All right, what does this all mean? Ah, yes, I want to know. So we've got the API version, V1. We've got, let me see, put this on the left. API version V1 is the version of Kubernetes API this config file uses. This is standard, you don't need to change it. We've got clusters, which is null. This is the cluster connection details. Right now it's null because we don't have anything. We have context, which is now the context is a combination of cluster, user, and namespace. It's like a profile that tells kube control which cluster to connect to and how. This will be populated when Minikube sets up your cluster. And then we have the current context. This shows which context is currently active. It's empty because there are no contexts yet. And then we have a config. This tells Kubernetes that this is a configuration file as opposed to a deployment service or other Kubernetes resource. And then we have reusers. Users are null because Minikube will add authentication details when it creates the cluster. That makes so much sense. Amazing. Does anyone have any questions? I'm excited. We now have our Kubernetes tools. Take a screenshot of your terminal showing the successful Minikube version and kube control. Ooh, how do I get both in one screenshot? Let me increase the size. Okay. All right, pasted that image. What commands did you use to install the tools? Well, I don't know the commands by heart. So I installed Minikube using, and then I can add the command here. The command, and then I installed kube control by using the command, and I could tell both installations were successful by checking the version number of the tool. Now let me add the command. This is kube control. And Minikube is right here. Brew install Minikube. Brew install kube control. Yeah, I could remember that. Okay. Now if I hit enter, I can see it. I wonder if I can try okay, I'm trying different options. Hold on. Experimenting here. Experimenting live with you guys. Okay. What if I do asterisk space? Okay. It's useful if you're downloading the Markdown file. You can type your answers in Markdown format. But for this version, if you want to put bullets, you can add a dash. But it would definitely be cool to add Markdown and formatting options. For sure, Markdown is the best. Another thing to add to the feature request, don't you think? All right. You've successfully installed Minikube and kube control. This is huge. You've kube control, the same command line tool that DevOps engineers use to manage production Kubernetes clusters. While Minikube runs a local cluster, Production clusters typically run on cloud services like AWS, EKS, or Google GKE. One asked about EKS earlier. The kube control commands and Kubernetes concepts you will learn here apply directly to production. Absolutely. Everything is transferable, right? Makes sense. Now let's use them to start your own local cluster. Whoa, Shane, there's 6 steps. I'm on step 3. How are you doing? Did you resolve the error in step 6? Still here in step 6. What's going on? Start your Kubernetes cluster. With your Kubernetes tools ready, let's run a real Kubernetes cluster on your computer. What's a Kubernetes cluster and why do we need one? A Kubernetes cluster is the foundation that makes Kubernetes work. It's a set of machines called nodes that work together to run and manage your containerized applications. You cannot use Kubernetes without a cluster. Think of it like this. Docker runs containers on a single machine, but Kubernetes needs a cluster, even if it's just one, to orchestrate containers across multiple machines, handle failures, scale up or down, or manage networking. In production, clusters can have hundreds of nodes spread across data centers. Minikube creates a single node cluster perfect for learning. It's still a real cluster, just smaller. This cluster will manage your RAG API, containers, starting them, restarting them if they crash, scaling them when needed, and routing traffic to them. All right, what are we doing in this step? In this step, I'm starting a Minikube cluster. Cube. Using kube control. A Kubernetes cluster is a set of machines or nodes that work together to run and manage containerized applications. Oh, okay. Nice. There's a little bit of a tip from Roy, just FYI, after installing Minikube on Windows with Winget, Minikube version may fail with a command not recognized error. The install succeeds, but the path is not updated automatically. Windows paths. 2 fixes worked. This is great. Thank you for sharing. I am going to take a note of it, maybe even put a post and ask anything in case somebody runs into an error and is stuck. They can come directly to this. All right, Soheb, you go have your biryani. What are you having for dinner today? I don't know why I always think of biryani when Soheb says he's gonna get dinner. Start Minikube cluster. Let's start our local Kubernetes cluster. Oh, look at that. Roy, did you know that? Did you see this? It's built in. They've already taken care of Minikube Sorry, Windows learners. Nice. If Minikube version didn't work for you earlier, there's some suggestions on what you can do. Run this command in your terminal and press enter. Ooh, look at the emojis. You're doing day 11 of 30 biryanis? What? I am so jealous. Why are you having biryani 30 days in a row? Also, Azam, aren't you under the weather? I think biryani is the best medicine for when you're not well. I don't think so, but I would like it to be. Oh, it is my comfort zone. I know what you mean. Love biryanis. Okay, let's go look at that. Look at that. Amazing. Starting our Minikube cluster, and it's taking a little bit of time. This is step 3 or step 4? Only step 3. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Are we really on step 3? And then we are, so this is where we are starting our Kubernetes cluster. Then we're creating Kubernetes deployment, and then creating Kubernetes service, and then accessing your API through Kubernetes. Okay. Are we done? Okay. Done. Kube control is now configured to use Minikube cluster and default namespace by default. Ooh, Harry Brewer is asking about the 30 biryanis. Awesome challenge. Count me in that one of 30 biryani. I know, right? If we had a biryani for 21 days of 21, wouldn't that be epic? All right. On step 4. Wait, maybe not. Maybe not. Hold on. Let me. Okay, now I need a screenshot